One evening, as the sun was beginning to set, James was pulling a goods train along the main line. He was making excellent time, and the trucks were behaving well. He felt most proud of himself. Ahead, the line curved past a field. James knew that field well. It was the same field where he crashed on his first day.
Oh, to be young and foolish again.
He chuckled to himself.
You'll never catch me coming off the rails now. Trucks don't dare to give me trouble.
Of course, he'd spoken too soon. The trucks had overheard.
We have plenty of trouble to give.
They chuckled, banging their buffers.
Smarten up back there.
Barked James, bumping them in return. That did the trick. The old coupling broke. The last three trucks and the brake van came loose. James felt a jolt but assumed it was another bump from the trucks and carried on. The guard braked the trucks to a halt, then went down the line from the van. He saw James speeding off down the line.
Oh, for pity's sake.
He grumbled and walked back to the last signal box, putting detonators on the rails as he went. The trucks, meanwhile, were delighted.
That will teach him not to push us around.
Giggled one.
Why stop there?
Smirked another.
He said we don't give him trouble, but we gave it. He said he'll never come off the rails. Let's prove him wrong.
Wouldn't do that if I were you. Set in the field nearby were more trucks. They were old and filthy with rotten wood and rust all over. They lay broken and crooked amongst the dirt.
How do you get there?
Asked James's trucks. Did the very thing you're scheming up, said an old truck. That James was naive. Let him think that he had us under control. Then struck. Poor fella's brake box caught fire, and we took care of the rest. Lovely crash it was. Cackled another old truck, and the rest laughed hoarsely. The cranes came, continued the first truck. They took away our friends who were still on the rails, then rescued James. We were sure we'd be next. It paused dramatically. Then the crane arms came to rest on the flatbeds, and an engine took them away. They weren't going to rescue us.
But
Stammered one of James's trucks.
we're indispensable. How could they not rescue you?
Indispensable?
Cried an old truck.
Listen, young'un. The workshops build hundreds of you in the time it takes to fix one steam engine. Why bother with us? Too much effort when they could just make a new truck and be done with it.
So, if we crash,
Stammered James's trucks.
we'll be...
Just like us. Wheezed an old truck. I'll never feel rails under my wheels again. If I still even got wheels left. Being buried in the earth so long, who knows if they're still there? The old trucks laughed like hyenas. It sent chills through the frames of James's trucks. They were speechless. A whistle cut through the laughter. James had been flagged out at the station and sent back to retrieve the trucks.
You silly things.
He grumbled, bumping them hard.
You could have caused an accident. We're sorry, James.
They quivered. James was quite taken aback. The guard fastened the coupling and he puffed off without another word. His trucks looked back at the field and shuddered as they pulled away. The old trucks fell silent, watching the train disappear on the horizon. They hoped the young ones heeded their words and wouldn't make the same mistake they had. Just then, a crow landed atop one of them. The truck chuckled wistfully. No good as a truck, and no good as a scarecrow either. Why are you complaining, Henry?
Oh, I'm so bored.
Oh, be quiet, Henry. You talk too much for your standards, so shush.
Go and be quiet. I can complain about anything I want to, you great big blue sausage. I'm off.
Oh,
Goodbye, Henry. Remember what I said.
good luck. Now you see, Henry the Green Engine is a tame, strong Black 5. But with his incident with the boys in the rocks, made him a bit grumpy. He complained all the way to the docks.
Hurry up. I'm a busy engine.
Calm down, Henry. I think I see Clark in the brake van. Yep, we're going.
Why is the sun on me so hot? It's literally burning my boiler.
And Henry was complaining dreadfully. He was complaining so much that he was not watching where he was going.
Alright, this
Henry
is new.
complained all the way down the old line.
Didn't even fix my leaky tubes. My firebox still rattles, and to top it all off, my buffers are raking.
Soon, Henry stopped at a station. The workmen got out and got to work. Hello? You must be Henry, correct? Well, I'm Toby. Nice to meet you. What brings you down here?
Oh, we're just bringing supplies to rebuild this part of the line.
Oh, that's nice. The tram engine smiled, went on the turntable, and turned around.
Why do you like it here? It sounds so quiet. It looks so bland. Don't you get tired of seeing trees?
Well, I like here, Henry, because, well, take a listen. Henry listened, and listened, and listened. Soon enough, he began to hear water, trees moving, and birds chirping. Henry felt relaxed.
Because of nature?
Yes, because nature.
Alright, I think we're ready. Are we good, Jim, over there? Yeah, we're good.
Well, I'll see you when I see you. Goodbye, Henry.
Bye, Toby.
And Henry puffed away. Later that night, Toby fell asleep, thinking of his new friend Henry. And between me and you, I think Toby and Henry's interaction had a little affection on Henry later in the future. But I think we all know what story I'm thinking of, don't we? Duck, the Great Western Engine, was tired out. The troublesome trucks had been giving him trouble all morning.
Take it easy, Duck. You don't want to strain yourself.
But Duck didn't take it easy. He struggled and strained. Suddenly, Duck's safety valve burst.
I blame the trucks.
I told you this would happen.
The guard went to go get help.
Oh dear, I can already hear Gordon complaining.
Later in the shed, Gordon spoke up about Duck's accident.
Poor little duck, pushing yourself to the limits. Now, if you are a strong, blue tender engine like me, you could do all the stuff that you wanted to do. But you're just a small green tank engine.
Rubbish, you did the same thing as me.
Enough, Gordon. It was an accident.
Yeah, it's nothing to get worked up over. And Duck's right, you know.
Later that day, Sir Topham Hatt had news for Gordon.
Gordon, I have chosen you to pull your special train. My mother would be on board. Please, no showing off. I would be honored, sir. Alright, off you go.
And he puffed away. But Gordon couldn't help but show off.
Come on, come on.
But then there was trouble.
Whoosh!
Then Gordon's safety valve burst.
What happened?
You know what, Gordon? What was I saying again? Oh yeah, karma bites back.
Oh, the indignity.
Gordon's face went as red as James's paintwork. Soon, Henry arrived to pick up the passengers. Then James went to pick up Gordon and take him to the works.
Oh, what was that saying, Gordon, again? Oh, yeah.
Karma bites back, I know.
Ah, well, even in the end, I guess we both bit off more than we can chew. Hey, Gordon?
I guess you can say that. You know what, Duck? I take back my comment about the tank engine.
That's great to hear. Only if we can change your opinions about branch lines now.
But I mustn't say any more, or I will spoil the next story. A strong wind had been blowing all day on the island of Sildor, and at night it grew worse still. The next morning, Sir Topham Hatt was eating toast and marmalade for breakfast when his wife came in.
Oh, Topham, my dear, she sighed. There's been slate blown off the roof of the house in the night,
I'll get someone to replace him, my dear.
he promised.
No use until the scales jar down, for they'll blow off as fast as they're put on.
At the sheds, the engines had been teasing James. They were remembering the time he had been spun around and around on the turntable, and he had to wait for the wind to drop before he could be rescued.
Be careful, James, chuckled Henry. Mind you don't go on any turntables today.
James was indignant.
Care for yourself, Henry. Make sure you don't need to stick in tunnels when you need to take shelter.
Henry didn't care a bit, and the other engines laughed as they went to collect their trains at the station. Henry's first stop was at the station before the viaduct. Be careful, Henry, the station master warned him. The wind on the viaduct is very fierce today. But Henry was lucky. The wind dropped for just a few moments at just the right time, and he brought his train safely over. The station beyond was an exposed place too. Henry knew this, but was so pleased that he crossed the viaduct that he forgot.
Fancy worrying about a bit of wind, he said to himself. Now I got no more stops into the workstation. That's one in the buffers for silly little James.
As he rattled through the station, he saw something that made him whistle shrilly in horror. A few hundred yards in front, a tree was suddenly uprooted by the gale and crashed across the line.
Ah! Groaned Henry, and his driver slammed the brakes on hard.
Henry skidded along the rails, coming closer and closer to the tree. He shut his eyes and waited for the impact. Nothing happened. Henry slowly opened his eyes and looked again, to find that he had stopped inches away from the tree. Phew, he thought to himself, and let off steam with relief as the guard came running to see what was the matter. Henry pushed the coaches back to the station, and when the passengers found out what had happened, they came to thank Henry for preventing a nasty accident.
Well done, Henry.
Said James when he found out.
Perhaps it's useful to be able to stick when you need it after all.
Near to where the line from the sheds joins the main line, there are some special points. These are called trap points, and the rails don't go anywhere, but are just long enough to derail anything running away and prevent it from colliding with another engine on the main line. They are worked by a very powerful spring that can be controlled from the signal box when the engines need to get on the main line on purpose. Henry could never get the idea of the points or why they were there.
Running away? Why would any one of us want to run away from a nice, dry, warm shed?
He grumbled.
You tell me that.
Neither Gordon or James could, so they didn't even try. One night, Henry was alone in the sheds. This was unusual, but Gordon was at the railway and would not be due until morning, and James was at the docks with Edward, so it was just Henry that was there. It was cold that night, and Henry was very lonely. He was glad when the firelighter came earlier than usual. Gratefully, Henry felt the warmth spread through his boiler. He was drowsy and uncomfortable.
15 minutes, driver, please.
He thought to himself. Suddenly, he felt someone climbing in his cab. It was the firelighter, who thought it would be funny to try and drive Henry. He soon found the brake and unwound it. Then he found the regulator, but nothing happened. Disappointed, he got out of Henry, but he forgot about the regulator. When everything was done, the firelighter left the sheds. It was minutes before Henry woke up. Henry could see that it was getting light outside. Then he realized what had woken him.
Hang on.
He groaned. Then Henry felt himself moving. He tried to stop, but he couldn't.
Hold up.
He was getting closer and closer to the shed doors. Henry hoped they could stop engines, but they couldn't.
Oh!
He yelled as he demolished the shed doors. Then he soon heard a whistle.
Gordon, look out! It's me, you blue sausage! Horrors! Stop, Wheels! Stop! I command you to stop, Wheels!
Oh, Henry! Get out of my way! Henry, move!
Soon Henry felt his front bogies leave the rails, and just in time as Gordon came thundering past. Man came panicking and shouting, but Henry didn't care.
Oh, thank you, track points. You could stay for however long you wanna, and I'm okay with that.